He's one of the most popular recording artists out there. Sing Your Name Out Loud is the name of his new book, 15 Rules for Living Your Dream. Thrilled to have here before the radio audience returns. First of two times I introduce this man, Jason Derulo. Good to see you, Jason. How are you?
Oh, fantastic, man. How you doing?
We're thrilled to have you here. We were all talking like, okay, Jason Derulo's coming here. I'll be straight up. The only people more excited than us might be my kids. Seriously getting some dad points today.
I love it.
No question about that. I got a 15, a 12, and a 10, and they listen to your music all the time.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing, man. Please tell them I said hello.
I will do that. Boy, I got points now, for sure. So how did you? So you're from Miami, right? Is that where you're from?
Yep.
Okay. So who is your idols growing up?
Yeah, man. So I was an arts kid, but the thing that got me into music in the first place was Michael Jackson. I saw Michael Jackson on the TV for the first time, and I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know. So I was 4 years old and like literally never looked back. Started writing songs at 8 years old, and then I got my first writing placement when I was 16, and then I started to write in the music industry and built a name doing writing, being a ghostwriter in the industry.
Right.
And then I got my chance. In 2009 I released my first single.
Well, before you get deeper into that, so you were an 8-year-old writing music? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there was this girl in my class that I liked, and I was like, I ain't got no money. What I'm gonna give her? So I was like, let me write her a song, because it was free.
Yes.
But I never ended up singing for her. But it started the journey.
So it was puppy love, is what you're saying? That was.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she sat right in front of me.
Okay.
Her name was Amy, and it was definitely a puppy love situation.
Does Amy know this?
She does now.
Well, on behalf of everybody who loves Jason Derulo's music, thank you, Amy. Appreciate that. Back here on the Rich Eisen Show Radio Network with the author, if I may call him that, of Sing Your Name Out Loud. I held it up one more. There it is. 15 Rules for Living Your Dream. The great Jason Derulo here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you knew when you were a kid, and again, that's what's great about this book is you talk about your inspiration and your upbringing and how you became the megastar that you are right now, that you knew early on that music and singing and recording is what you wanted to do. That's basically it.
I mean, I was lucky in that I knew what I wanted to do very early. I mean, obviously, the more time you have, the better chances you have, obviously.
Right.
But it's never too late, and that's why I really wanted to write this book because, there's a lot of dreamers out there that are young and that are giving up their dreams for grad school or what they think like the norm is and that they have to do.
Right.
And I feel like everybody should go after what their passion is, because when you're able to do what you love to do, and you guys know this, right? Mm-hmm. When you're able to wake up in the morning and look forward to what you do, it's not as hard to work hard. You get to put more hours in, and it's not as painful. There's also a lot of older dreamers out there that feel like it's too late. So I was like, what if I wrote some sort of handbook for those people who just don't know how to start? Because sometimes starting is the hardest thing in the world. It's just like, today's the day. I'm about to roll up my sleeves. Damn, but what do I do first? And if I had some sort of a handbook when I was a kid, I would have bumped my head a lot less times. So that was the reason.
Yeah, and number one is it's a perfect first rule: take risks. And because I get a lot, Jason, from people asking me how I got started to be able to sit in front of a microphone and behind a desk, and obviously there's a lot of hard work. But I had the same thing too. It's just like, how am I going to do it? And so many people get caught up on how they're going to eventually find the path as opposed to just getting started on it. And I know that sounds easy, but the first thing is to just realize, who's stopping you?
Yeah, that's real.
Other than potentially yourself, right? It's the truth. It's a fact. So the first time you tried it, again, you said you were just writing as an 8-year-old.
Yep.
When was the first time you said, screw this, I'm really going to start singing, I'm going to figure this thing out? Do you recall when that moment was for you, Jason?
Yeah, I was really young, man. I really was. And the fact that I knew what my path was, I think that was the first step. The other big thing for me was speaking things into existence. So my mother, she a godly Christian woman.
Yes.
she always used to tell us, be careful of what you say. You know, the power of the tongue is just really, really powerful.
Yes.
So she would say things like, this dessert is to live for, as opposed to this dessert is to die for. You know, so I caught on to that, right? And I started to speak things onto my life. And so much so that I started to believe them myself. You know, so like, it was not like my dream one day is to be a star. It was like, oh, I'm going to make music. The world is going to sing my songs. And I think once you start speaking to the trillion cells in your body starts to listen, and you start morphing into the person that you want to become.
Two things you just said there. First one, you guys know him just as well as I do. Deion Sanders is another Florida individual, although he's from the west coast of Florida, not south. He says all the time, I love you to life. Yeah. I love that guy to life. He says that all the time.
Yes.
He never says I love him to death. He honestly, he says that all the time.
Yeah.
And so
speak life into
he says that absolutely all the time. And then so when was what was your big break? The moment where, okay, you knew like this is either lightning has struck, your lottery ticket's been punched. Was there a moment for you, Jason?
There's many moments.
Okay.
I've had a lot of big breaks in my life. I think the first big break was when I got my first writing placement, because that was like, oh, you can like really do this, you know? And then my next one was when I got a pub deal in Los Angeles, and I got a record deal. That was like my next big break. I was 18 years old. I moved from Miami, Florida, moved to LA, you know, moved my whole life out here. It was, you know, a really crazy time in my life because, you know, I got $40,000 and I thought I was rich at that point. I got a condo that was way too expensive for me, but I was like, I am going to make sure that I make the money so I can pay for this condo. My mom is like, what are you doing? You can't afford this. I'm like, Ma, exactly. And she's like, what? Like,
yeah.
So the fact, in the back of my mind, I was like, I know I got to work hard so I can pay for this thing. So that was my next big break. Then 2009, I released my first single, which was a song that I actually wrote for Sean Kingston called What You Say. And his label turned the song down. So we were like, oh, well, this could be my first single. And then we put it out in 2009 and it became the biggest song in the world. And then that was my next big break.
There you have it. So I love that story. So you were always about the lifestyle, is basically what you're saying.
I mean,
Jason.
it wasn't that crazy. I mean, it was
No,
only,
I just
it was
say,
only, at that point it was only like $3,500 a month. But like,
well, I mean, if you only have $40,000 in your pocket, no wonder your mom is saying that to you.
Yeah,
but you also had
facts.
some confidence, and you're like, there'll be more where that comes from because I feel fully confident. And so, Jason Derulo here on the Rich Eisen Show. Having been fortunate to do what I've done for a while, virtually every athlete wants to do what you do, and many people who do what you do wants to play sports in any way, shape, or form. You said early on that you were an arts kid growing up. Did you ever try to do sports, or you just said,
I was pretty serious about basketball, man. In high school, I went to a very, very competitive high school. It was Dillard High School in Miami, Florida, which is ranked in football, ranked in basketball. We were the number 14 basketball team in the country.
Yeah.
So it was a really tough team to make. And then when I made it, I just really spent all of my time and energy into basketball. And then I became one of the better players on the team.
Point guard, shooting guard? What were you?
I was shooting guard.
Okay.
And then I was like, what am I doing? Like I gotta choose one. I can't spend, half my time playing basketball and half my time on music. I have to pick a route because it's really hard to be great at two things, So I put basketball aside and I was like, I'm gonna go full force with music. And my coach was like, I thought you were gonna be the one to actually make it out of here.
Really?
And he was like, it's because of your work ethic. It's because because me, it was like I always was the first one there. I was the last one to leave. I came first in like every like long distance thing that we did. So I was never the highest jumper. I was never the fastest on the team, but I was always the hardest worker. And I think those are the kinds of people that always make it.
What's your best night on the hardwood then?
What's my
best night on the hardwood for Jason Derulo? Come on, give me a stat line.
Yeah,
you got
14 points, 3 assists,
Okay.
2 rebounds was my
Okay.
my best night.
Okay. So I think you chose the right profession. If you know what I'm saying, I mean, I thought you'd be like, hey, we had Tim McGraw here 2 weeks ago, and he's like, 50. By the way, I didn't even get the question out of my mouth. He goes, 54 points.
Damn.
And he said he had the flu. I'm like Jordan? You had the flu like Jordan? Yeah, you weren't here. Yeah, I know.
And no 3-pointers back then.
Yeah, no 3-pointers back then either. You had no threes. There's no 3-point line.
That's insane.
Hey,
And he was 5'9".
He might have not chose the right.
That's right. But you chose the right profession.
Yes, for
I
sure.
think. So how many athletes must come up to you and you got one that's come up to you that loves your music that you loved meeting
my
or you gotten the
goodness.
chance to meet?
A couple are my favorite. I mean, one I got to spend quite a bit of time with Kobe in China, which was amazing for me because I grew up watching Kobe. That was like my time, right?
Of course.
And somebody that I really looked up to. So I got to spend some real time with him in China when we were doing like all the World Cup things with basketball.
Right.
But also Michael had me come down to this 23 event that he was putting on. And we performed, and he comes up to me. He's like, Jason, my favorite song in the world is Cheyenne. And Cheyenne is not one of like my big hits or anything. It's an album track that not very many people would know about. And I just thought that was so cool because it's not like he came up to me and was like, I love Talk Dirty or I love It Girl or I love like, one of these big songs. He was like, he picked one of the album because I was like, this is a real moment. This is Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, man.
So just returning to Kobe, because again, a book like this is exactly the sort of stuff he would tell you to do.
Yeah.
Was there any Mamba mentality that he imparted to you or any moments there in China when you got a chance to chill with him that you gleaned from him and anything like that?
I got the drunkest that I've ever been with Kobe Bryant. And that's one of my greatest highlights of my life.
Okay.
Because I was the drunkest because he doesn't have to do anything. So we sitting there chopping it up, having dinner like we would, and then after every drink that he takes, he hits my glass like really like aggressively, bow, and then my glass just kind of like shakes and it like moves towards me, and I'm just like bow,
Yeah.
We're both Virgos, we're both very competitive. This was my night to show Kobe how to do it. I'm the rock star here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you play basketball, but I do this. So this is the words that I'm telling him. He was like, I put Shaq to shame. In the back of my mind, I'm like, well, damn, Shaq is a big man. You drinking Shaq under the table, that's pretty serious. But I'm not showing that on my face at all. I'm like,
of course.
I'm a rock star. This is what we do. We drink. So I'm hitting his glass back, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
But it keeps going and going and going. And after like I'm 16 shots in, the rest of the night became a blur, right? And then all I remember is riding home and having to stop the vehicle like 5 times on the way back to the hotel because I had to throw up on the side of the road. But that's the Mamba mentality.
Blackout Mamba.
Yeah.
Blackout Mamba. How about that?
He got to win by any means necessary.
Well, the guy is known for putting up a multitude of shots. I'd have counseled you against that had I been there. What a story. I mean, what a story, man.
Yeah, man.
What a life that you're living, and it's so blessed. So what is next for you? Like, what do you want to do here? Obviously, you've accomplished so much. You now got a book, which is this is the ultimate. They can't take it away from you. Like, this is on the shelf forever.
Yeah.
So congrats on that.
Thank you very much.
What's next for you, Jason Derulo?
So I've been doing a lot in the business world. I'm really excited to actually announce that I have a volleyball team. It's a women's volleyball league called Women's Pro Volleyball, and have a team in Omaha with my partner Danny White, which I couldn't be more excited about because volleyball is one of the sports that actually the women lead, right? You know, women get more viewership. People are coming to the women's games more than they come to the men's games. So when you play college volleyball in America, what's next for you is that you have to go overseas to play pro volleyball. Until now we actually have a pro volleyball league, and I'm so excited to be, you know, a small part of what these incredible women are doing.
Sports ownership.
Yeah,
for Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
Look at you. You must have some people you can, I mean, Michael, I mean, you can reach out to a whole bunch of people for that sort of thoughts on doing that.
For sure.
So Omaha, Nebraska is where you're owning a team in this professional volleyball league. Did you ever play volleyball yourself?
I did play volleyball for a short stint. So, so you know, when you play sports in high school, you know, there's a time period where there's just nothing going on. And then that's when, like, all the athletes like go and play volleyball. But I had the time of my life playing volleyball.
All three of my kids, 15, 12, and 10, the three individuals, Xander, Cooper, and Taylor, with whom I'm getting huge daddy points for chatting with you and having you on the show. They all played volleyball this past spring. Loved it. I loved watching it. I loved seeing it. I loved watching them succeed when they would serve and get a point. Oh, my God. Like, it was truly a remarkable moment. It's a fun sport to watch, and it's a great team sport.
Yeah,
I agree.
Agreed, man. And when I played, you know, I thought I was something, and then I went to go play with some girls in Omaha, and I realized really quickly how terrible I was.
I was about to say they kicked your ass pretty much, huh?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah, like really, really badly. And the sad part about it is they were really trying to like get me to like score and like do stuff. You know, they're like, Jason is here, so like let's come on, like, you know, like show him a good time. But it was bad, man. It was pretty brutal.
I was about to say, the Kobe story, this story, pride messes with your mind quite a bit, I think, when it comes to this sort of thing. Okay, fantastic. And do you have any professional sports teams that you follow or you're interested in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Miami. So,
okay.
You know, all of my Miami guys, you know, I'm you know, rooting for my Dolphins, you know, no matter what. And the Heat, my guys did really well last season.
That's true. I mean, they make it all the time, further than anybody expects. Is Jimmy Buckets a Jason Derulo fan or Jimmy Butler?
I've actually never met Jimmy Buckets, man.
Oh, we need to change that.
Which we definitely got to change that because that's my guy. Like, I root for that guy all the time. And you know, I really don't like the way people talk about the Heat. When
you have the floor, go for it.
When people are talking about the Heat, it's always like some like backhanded compliment. It's like, I can't believe they made it this far. Like, why can't you believe that? Like, we've done it over and over and over and over again. Like, how many times do we have to prove to you that we've, you know, like we're doing the work and we are supposed to be here? I think next year is our year.
The Heat way, you know. I mean, Coach Spoelstra and obviously Pat Riley and all those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
In the last 2 years,
Legendary.
I know they get there, and unfortunately, they run into somebody that takes them out, but. I hear you.
But next year I'm going to be playing on the team. I came here to announce.
It's a lot of announcements.
We're going to be on that hardwood, and we going. You know, I just want to come in and help my team. You know.
Well, you always have a place here. If you're part of this team now, Jason, I appreciate you coming in here again. This book. Published on June 27th is out there for everybody to go follow. 15 Rules for Living Your Dream are enclosed in Sing Your Name Out Loud. Jason Derulo, of course, Jason Derulo on both Twitter and Instagram. What a pleasure to chat with you.
Likewise.
Come on anytime.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Right here on the Rich. What a story about Kobe Bryant. Here I thought, like, he taught me this, that, the other thing. He just taught you. Don't come at the king. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.